It's time for America Outdoors Radio. The fast-paced hour of outdoors radio ahead is not only awesome, but unlike those other shows, you can actually sleep in for this one. Better still, we've got a special Pacific Northwest edition for you, sponsored by Northwest Sportsman Magazine, Rugged Point Lodge on Vancouver Island, and Northwest Fishing Guides out of our hometown here in Everett. You won't find this version of America Outdoors Radio anywhere else. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. Brought to you by Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
We've got another great Pacific Northwest edition on tap for you this week. We'll be talking to Jim Stahl with Northwest Fishing Guides today, who's going to break down exactly how to catch steelhead this month fishing the lower Columbia River. We'll also talk to Matt Gaget at Rugged Point Lodge on the northwest coast of Vancouver Island about tuna fishing. That's right, there's tuna to be caught. Big tuna too, up to 40 pounds, along with halibut and salmon off the Pacific coast side of Vancouver Island, and that fishery is going to start going off any day now. Heading back to the freshwater, we'll also talk to Ron Harbin at Mardon Resort at Eastern Washington's Potholes Reservoir about topwater bass fishing. Ron's got some lure suggestions for you that will work at any bass lake here in the Northwest, and if you haven't enjoyed a morning or evening fishing for bass with topwater lures, you, my friends, are missing out. But first, let's talk about what's hot this week in the Northwest, and this week we are talking trout. Grandy Lake received a stocking of just under 1,000 rainbow trout at the end of June. This Skagit County lake is located near Concrete, and there's not only a county park there, but also fishing for cutthroat trout and largemouth bass. Another trout water to try is Goodwin Lake in Snohomish County. A post from a kayak angler on NorthwestFishingReports.com had him hitting the water recently, where he landed a limit of rainbows trolling a Doc Spratley fly behind a Max Double D Dodger. The trout measured between 14 to 17 inches, and he had the photos to back it up. Check out some of your favorite lakes by going to NorthwestFishingReports.com. Next, it's time to talk to Jim Stahl again. He is the co-owner of Northwest Fishing Guides. He's based out of Everett, but he spends a lot of time fishing the lower Columbia River during the summer months. Jim, I know you've been targeting steelhead down on the lower Columbia River, but what's the drill? I remember doing this as a kid from the beach with a cowbell on a rod and plunking out there. I'm guessing that's not what you're doing, though.
That's not, but actually there's still people doing that. It actually still works pretty good, but what we're doing is we're in the boats. We're fishing fairly shallow, anywhere from 2 feet of water to about 10 feet of water. It's literally we're putting the rods in the holders and letting them, sit out. We're fishing coon shrimp and spinning glows, so it's a bait, so they have to bite it, and you've got to let them eat it a little bit. But it's a great fishery. The biggest thing that you need is that outgoing tide, and you'd like to have that outgoing tide, in the morning, so you can fish it all afternoon. But it's a great fishery for family and kids, and usually the weather is fantastic. And what more can you ask for when you can go have good weather and good fishing?
Well, I'll tell you what, 2 to 10 feet, that's very surprising. I'm really surprised you're fishing that shallow. What kind of weight do you need to stay on the bottom there, especially with those outgoing tides?
Actually, depending on where you are, 2 to 4 ounces will usually keep you down pretty good. And then every once in a while, we'll get a surprise sockeye too, which is kind of a nice surprise. But these fish are really bank oriented. Anything that makes a point or a shelf or anything that they have to swim around or swim over, that's the key, and that's why the shallow depths.
Last but not least, what's the go-to color for those lower Columbia steelhead?
I fish a lot of pinks, a lot of reds, metallic reds, but my grandpa taught me long ago that you can't beat pink, and one of my favorite colors is pink, pink, and pink. Same thing with the coon shrimp. We're either dyeing them pink or we're dyeing them red.
Well, there you go. There's some tips to help you get some fish in the boat, especially if you like steelhead. Head down to the lower Columbia, and if you want a little help doing it, book a trip with Northwest Fishing Guides. You can go ahead and find them at nwfishingguides.net. That's nwfishingguides.net. Go ahead and give Jim a call and head on down there for some fishing fun. Jim, thanks as always.
Have fun.
And with that, let's head to this week's national edition of America Outdoors Radio.
Want a trip with some of the most talented anglers on the water? Then book a trip with Northwest Fishing Guides. Salmon. That's right, salmon are their specialty, and you'll get a chance to catch them out of the mighty Columbia River from a comfortable and sturdy 26-foot boat. Northwest Fishing Guides will take you out for steelhead and sturgeon too, and can also accommodate your saltwater fishing desires. So whether you want salmon in the cooler or other fish on the line, book your trip now at nwfishingguides.net. That's nwfishingguides.net. Book your trip with the best.
It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations, we cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
I do love Montana. There's a reason they call it Big Sky Country, and there's a reason that folks move there for trout fishing, for hiking, for camping, and for the entire outdoors experience. It is just one of the best places on earth. I just got back from Billings with a couple of stops along the way to do some fishing on the Clark Fork River for trout. I also got to hike the Beartooth Mountain Range to an alpine lake and cast a line for trout there too. All in all, I have got to admit, the life of an outdoors radio broadcaster ain't half bad. It's also pretty darn good if you're an angler, especially this year. We came into June bemoaning the lack of fishing opportunities available, and here we are in mid-July with more fishing than you can shake an ugly stick at. We'll be telling you about some of the great fishing going on this summer during this broadcast. We'll start off by heading to Haida Gwaii, formerly known as the Queen Charlotte Islands, and tell you about some great floating fishing lodges operated by West Coast Resorts. From there, we'll head to the southwest Washington coast. Captain Kerry Alexander is the owner of Offshore Northwest and captain of a 28-foot boat named Beast Mode. He's going to let you know if the tuna are in yet off the Washington coast. Captain Kerry will also tell you about the run and gun live bait tuna fishing he offers out of Westport. We are talking about trips here that on a good day have you leaving the dock at 5 a.m. and back by 1 p.m. with a boatload of albacore. Wow. After we chat with Kerry, we'll get a chance to talk to Marshall Madruga. He's the owner of Mini Drifter, a drift boat company based in San Diego, California. Mini Drifter boats are ultra small and ultra light aluminum drift boats measuring between 8 and 12 feet. If you're looking for something to slide into the back of your pickup truck and take to a lake or a trout stream, a Mini Drifter boat may be for you. Better still, Marshall is looking for pro staffers and distributors in the Northwest, so you'll want to listen to this. Another fishery to tell you about is the famous Buoy 10 salmon fishery that kicks off August 1st and runs into September at the mouth of the Columbia River near Astoria. It's a lot of fun. There's some great fishing to be had, but it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Guide Kelly Short has got some advice for you to keep you on the safe side of this popular fishery. There are a bunch of fishing derbies coming up in the next month here in the Northwest, and we'll tell you about those and also let you know about the California State Duck Calling Championship taking place in August. Our Trail of Shame segment this week finds Idaho Fish and Game looking for help to identify the poacher or poachers who shot and killed a moose calf just prior to the 4th of July. And last, but certainly not least, we'll get a chance to talk with Russ Baker. He's the owner of Limit Out Performance Marine in Pacific, Washington, and his boat dealership puts on the Big Bass Trail Tournament Series. They just finished their annual championship at Potholes Reservoir in eastern Washington, and we'll let you know who caught the 7+ pound bass that took home the money and the championship. Russ will also tell you what lakes they fished this year and what lakes they are looking at fishing in the future. This is a real up-and-coming tournament series averaging over 50 boats an event. And by the way, this tournament series isn't just a Washington series either. There's a few lakes they are looking at in other states too. But before we talk bass and tuna and drift boats and safety, let's head north of the border to check on the fishing. Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're talking with Brian Alexander with West Coast Resorts in British Columbia. West Coast Resorts has a couple of resorts on Haida Gwaii, formerly known as Queen Charlotte Island, and another one on the mainland, not too far from Bella Bella. Brian, how has the fishing been this year at your resorts?
Well, we started off at the end of May, and definitely has started off to be one of our best seasons in the last few years. And the seasons, no matter what you sometimes hear or read, the fishing out in BC, it just seems to be getting better and better every year. So we've got a lot of clients that are coming back out here with big grins on their face. And what's even better is that they want to come back and visit us next year.
I've been talking to a lot of BC saltwater guides and outfitters this year, and this truly has been an epic year. And when you juxtapose that with what a crummy year we've had down on the West Coast, especially off of Puget Sound, it's all the more reason to book a trip and head up to British Columbia for some saltwater fishing. Why don't you tell our listeners briefly about the 3 resorts you operate? These are some beautiful resorts in some very remote locations.
Yeah, the best way to describe our lodges, and these are floating lodges, so the best way that we describe it is it's like a 4.5-star floating hotel. They're all very remote, strictly fly-in. We've got the 2 lodges, as you mentioned earlier, up in Haida Gwaii, formerly known as Queen Charlotte Islands. We've got the Hippa Lodge, which is our flagship, and it holds 48 guests. The fishing is anywhere from 4 minutes to 25 minutes away. You get your real nice, beautiful room, 2 people per room, 3 chefs do all your meals. You've got your hot tub and your sauna, and you've got boats all rigged out right down to some of the best gear available on the market. And head out there and fish and fish and fish and more fish. And one of the things that makes us a little unique and different, one of the many, is that we offer an instructor's program, which is part of our packages at all our lodges.
Nice.
And that allows you, we call them instructors, some people call them guides, but each instructor or guide is responsible for 2 boats or 4 guests for their entire trip. So they're either in one boat or the other. And we just want to ensure that our guests are enjoying themselves, they're not getting frustrated, they're catching some fish, because ultimately that's what they're there for. So, our Hippa Lodge, as I mentioned, our Englefield Lodge is just south by about 40 miles from Hippa. It's 46 guests, again, a floating lodge. Again, we're 2 minutes to 25 minutes away from the fishing. One of the very unique things about Englefield is that it's the only lodge in the area.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
You've got 23 boats, and that is it. And, again, the same program, real nice, comfortable rooms, lounge, right down to the masseuse and the sauna and the hot tub.
I got to ask one more thing of you, Brian. When it comes to the fishing, obviously salmon is the primary quarry, especially Chinook salmon, and I'm guessing coho as well. But do you also get your shot at bottom fish in terms of halibut and rockfish and lingcod?
It's a meat market. We've got some great halibut holes, say at Englefield, within eyeshot of the lodge. Which makes it nice. And we obviously do have size restrictions on the halibut, but there's plenty to go around. There's lingcod, there's your rock cod, your yellow eyes. And there again, that's what makes Englefield so unique, is because it does not have the pressure like a lot of the lodges on the coast, where you've got 250, 300 boats banging around on the same hole, and it just is so much pressure on the fish.
Yeah, that's no fun at all. I've never enjoyed combat fishing, so hearing about what you have to offer...
It's a good way to describe it.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got our Central Coast Lodge, which is our Millbank Sound, which we've now owned and operated for 21 years. It just opened up last week. In fact, our first trip is coming out today.
Oh, my gosh.
It's our mainstay. It's the one we've had the longest. And if you want some big, big fish, that's usually the place to go, is Millbank. And again, it's 2 minutes to the fishing grounds. They've got some wonderful protected water. It's a bigger lodge. It holds 58 people, but people love it because of the water conditions and of course the scenery and the whales and everything else at all the lodges that sometimes makes the trip. Then, of course, everything, as I said, fly-in. We use jets. We're the only lodge up in the Charlotte that we use jets for both our lodges. Very quick, very efficient, very comfortable, and, of course, helicopter everybody into all our lodges as well.
Well, Brian, we are out of time, but I'll tell you what, folks, if you're looking for luxury, if you're looking for great fishing in an uncrowded location, sounds like West Coast Resorts is worth checking out. What's the website so people can find out more?
westcoastresorts.com. And real easy. We've got, unfortunately, some cancellations, so we've got some wonderful pricing right now. So have them check out the website and give us a call.
There you go. It's westcoastresorts.com, westcoastresorts.com. Check it out. Book your BC saltwater fishing adventure. Brian, thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you.
Don't miss the boat this summer and treat yourself to a fishing adventure of a lifetime. West Coast Resorts is pleased to offer its guests unparalleled angling on the west coast of Haida Gwaii in British Columbia, just 50 miles south of Alaska. Their fishing lodge locations offer deluxe accommodations, remoteness, and proximity to the most productive salmon and halibut fishing grounds. True wilderness angling is much closer and more affordable than you think. Call them today at 1-800-810-8933 or visit them at westcoastresorts.com.
Waterfowl season is quickly approaching, and the Sauvie Island Duck Club is the place to be. Just 10 miles northwest of Portland, Sauvie Island is a hub for wintering populations of ducks and geese, making it an ideal location for hunters. Sauvie Island Duck Club offers day, month, and year-long memberships, and they are open 7 days a week for all of your waterfowling needs. Spots are still open for fall, so contact them now for prices and reservations. Find out more at siduckclub.com. That's siduckclub.com.
Oregon Pack Works delivers high-performance hunting products that are made in America. Our all-weather line of modular hunting packs and BinoBro binocular harnesses are used by hunters across the globe and known for the functional form, versatility, and ease of use. Our proprietary fabric used in our big game hunting products is waterproof, burr-proof, quiet, and rip-resistant. From day hunts to multi-day expeditions, Oregon Packworks has you covered. Find out more at OregonPackworks.com. That's OregonPackworks.com.
Would you like to own your own piece of recreational or rural property? Niho Land is British Columbia's leading expert in recreational and rural land. Whether you're looking for a 5-acre recreational retreat or a 1,000-acre trophy property to enjoy or leave as a legacy to your family, Niho has a property for you. Spectacular British Columbia has no restrictions on non-Canadian ownership. Visit Niho.com to find the property right for you. Remember, don't wait to buy land. Buy land and then wait. Invest now. Niho.com. Niho.com. Some of the best saltwater fishing you'll ever experience is taking place off Vancouver Island this year, and Rugged Point Lodge is where you need to go to catch them. Rugged Point Lodge offers comfortable accommodations, great food, and the chance to catch a limit of salmon, halibut, or lingcod mere minutes away from the dock. Better still, it's not too late to book a trip for this summer to take advantage of what promises to be the best salmon fishing in a generation. Book now at RuggedPointLodge.com. RuggedPointLodge.com, where fishing dreams come true.
Are you ready for an adventure? No, not the kind where you're rappelling off cliffs and canoeing down waterfalls. The kind where you sleep in a cushy bed, open the door with a hot cup of coffee, and set out to do some fishing or hiking. The low-stress kind of adventure we offer at Northwest Adventure Rentals. We're a family-owned business that will start you on your way in one of our luxury motorhomes and travel trailers. We'll even do the packing for you. Just grab your food and clothes and set off for your next adventure. Oh yeah, don't forget your fishing pole. Look us up at NWAdventureRentals.com.
Blue Moon Fishing Adventures has the experience and knowledge to take you where the fish are biting the best. Blue Moon Fishing Adventures offers freshwater trips for salmon, steelhead, and oversized sturgeon. And with their 33-foot offshore boat, they can chase tuna, halibut, lingcod, salmon, and bottom fish. Whether you're an experienced fisherman or a novice, Blue Moon Fishing Adventures will do their very best to see that you have a great time fishing. Give them a call at 360-521-0273. That's 360-521-0273.
Row, row, row your boat, can't get up the stream. Fill your boat and motor needs a King Salmon Marine.
Are you ready for summertime fun? Have you been thinking about a new or used boat and motor? King Salmon Marine will fill all your boat and motor needs.
Row, row, row your boat to look for something new. 253-830-2962. Yay!
You're back with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. It's summertime, and that means it's tuna time off our west coast. Now, we have heard reports of people catching tuna off the California coast. We've heard reports of people catching tuna off of Newport in Central Oregon. But now we're going to check in and see if the tuna have shown up yet, well, off of Westport in Southwest Washington. The person who's going to tell us, his name is Captain Kerry Allen. He's the owner of Offshore Northwest. Kerry, welcome to the show. Are the tuna here yet off of Westport?
Thank you. Tuna fishing is absolutely lights out right now in Westport, Washington.
Tell me more. How did things go today?
We're killing them. Well, we didn't go today. Yesterday we caught 58.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and we were home by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So.
That is amazing. 58 tuna. How many anglers did you have on the boat?
6. We take 6 anglers every day.
That sounds like an absolute hoot. Boy, oh boy. All right, so tell me more. How far out are they right now?
We're running about 45 to 50 miles.
Okay.
In my brand new 28-foot Parker boat with 600 horsepower, it's taken us about an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh, that is quick. So you specialize in these run-and-gun live bait tuna fishing charters. Why don't you talk me through a day? Let's say, I show up at Westport the night before, book a room in one of the hotels there. What time am I meeting you? What's going to happen next?
You're meeting us at the boat at 5 o'clock in the morning right now. We're running over to the bait dock. We're in Westport. We have the best bait on the West Coast. We're picking up 3 scoops of live bait, 30 pounds of live bait. We're running an hour and a half out to the grounds. We're dropping live anchovies on jumping tuna and filling the boat up. And like I said, we're done by 9:30, 10 o'clock, running home an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're home by 1.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, I have heard when the bite is on for the tuna that is just crazy on a fishing boat because it's not just one guy that's got a fish on. It's usually multiple people that have a fish on at the same time.
Albacore tuna fishing is absolutely the most exciting fishing you can have. And typically what happens is we'll run out. Also, we'll bait up all 6 guys. We'll put them in on one side of the boat, and they'll all hook up. They'll all bring their fish in. 2 guys will have to take a break. The other 4 guys will start fishing again. They'll all catch 1. 2 of those will back out, and the other 2 that took a break will jump in, and typically we're fishing 4 or 5 people at a time.
Wow. What a hoot.
And they're hooked up all the time.
And that was my next question. I mean, does the bite just, when the bite's on, does it just keep going until everyone's basically got close to 10 tuna?
Well, we could lose them. If we lose a couple of fish, a lot of times the school will go deep, and we'll have to run around and look for another one, but there's lots of them out there.
And that was my next question. How is this sizing up this year compared to past years in terms of the tuna fishery?
Well, it's hard to say how long it's going to last. We're catching a lot more fish earlier this year, and they're really big. Average size around 20 to 30 pounds.
That is quite a bit bigger. I've talked to captains in the past who tell me that a 15 to 20 pound is normal. So 20 to 30, that's a good fish.
Yeah, they're hogs. It's great for early season. We're actually kind of hoping to get a little bit smaller because they're easier to manage when they're down around 15 to 20 pounds.
So you're getting back in 1 in the afternoon. Now, here's the next question. Is there a fish processing place in Westport where you're basically sending anglers to, or are you basically just saying, we're putting them, put them in your cooler, put them on ice, here you go?
No, we clean fish for, the deckhand cleans the fish for $4 a piece.
Nice.
We cut them up to loin, so basically you're just taking home meat. The cool thing about tuna is that there's no bones in it. So even like with a salmon, when you fillet a salmon out, you have pin bones still left in it. But with tuna, it's completely clean.
Nice. Now, here's a question for you. I guess I've never asked this of a tuna boat captain. What's your favorite way? And I'm sure you eat a lot of tuna. What's your favorite way? Smoked tuna, or how do you like it?
My favorite way to eat it is pan-seared. So I'll take a frozen loin, cut it in 1-inch medallions, and pan-sear it for about 45 seconds on the side. It gets blackened on the outside, and it's raw in the middle, and it's just magic.
Oh, we shouldn't talk around mealtime because now I'm really hungry. This isn't good, Kerry. Folks, you're listening to America Outdoors Radio. We're talking to Captain Kerry Allen. He's the owner of Offshore Northwest. He offers one-day run-and-gun tuna fishing charters out of Westport, Washington. Let's talk about your boat. 600 horsepower. That is a beast.
Yeah, in fact, that's its name, Beast Mode. But, we have 2 twin 300 Yamaha outboard motors. The whole thing is brand new. We run at 30 to 40 miles an hour. Sometimes a little slower going out because we're into a head sea, but we'll run at 30 or 40 coming home, so we're home pretty fast.
So tell me about the electronics. I know that's always a big deal in terms of a quality fishing boat.
It's all brand new Raymarine, top-of-the-line electronics. Raymarine's been really awesome with us, and I just love them. We're using Chirp Fish Finder, Chirp Radar. We have a 14-inch screen inside the cabin, so we have everything on the same screen all the time.
Very nice, very nice. And rods, reels, line, tell me about that.
We're using Seeker rods. All of my gear that I can get made in America is.
Like to hear that.
We're using Seeker rods. We're using Truth reels that are made in Virginia. A lot of people out here haven't heard of them, but you're gonna. They're awesome aluminum one-piece reels with ceramic bearings.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to look those up. That sounds really interesting.
They are the coolest thing ever.
And what about your fishing line?
Finn's Fishing Line, also made in America. I think they're made in Iowa.
Okay. And what are you running, mono, or are you running braid, and what pound test?
We're running braid, 60-pound braid, and 40-pound fluoro top shots.
Wow. Next question for you. How long do you expect this fishery to last?
Till October. We'll be into tuna until the first or second week of October when the weather gets so bad we can't get out to them.
This sounds like an absolute hoot. Do you still have openings for this summer and early this fall?
We have a couple of days left in September. We have some seats left in August, but not very many. We have a couple of days left in July that are open, but really it's booked up pretty fast.
All right, so the bottom line is now is probably the time to book for next year, and you might get lucky if you go to your website. I'm going to give that out a little bit later, but I'll give it out now as well. Simple website, offshorenorthwest.com. Offshorenorthwest.com is a website. There's a phone number there. You can contact Carrie by email as well. One other thing about the boat itself and about the amenities, when people come on board, do they need to bring their own food, their own water, their own coffee, or is that provided by you?
No, you want to bring rubber boots and rain gear and your lunch.
All right. And one last thing, is there a head on board?
We have a ladies' room on board. It's not the kind of place, because it's down in the cuddy, and you don't really want to go down there if you can avoid it.
I understand completely, especially in rough seas.
If you've ever been on the ocean, you know better. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. But it's nice to know that that's available. All right. Yep. The website again, folks, if you want to go fishing with Captain Carrie for some incredible run and gun, one-day tuna fishing, out at 5 a.m., back by 1 with up to 10 tuna apiece. It is offshorenorthwest.com. That's offshorenorthwest.com. Limited seats are available right now, and it's wide open for booking for 2017. Anything else you want to add before we go, Carrie?
We post a lot of last-minute openings on the Facebook page, Offshore Northwest on Facebook.
Okay.
And we're also on Instagram and Twitter and all of that. So.
All right. Well, go to Facebook. Check it out. If you want to go tuna fishing, there's still a chance this summer. And as Carrie said, it's lights out. Thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Thanks, brother. Have a great day.
From the Columbia River to Puget Sound, the Coastal Conservation Association in the Pacific Northwest works to conserve the fish we love and does so while protecting our heritage of sport fishing. To find out more, go to ccapnw.org. Again, that's ccapnw.org.
Offshore Northwest is Washington's most exciting albacore tuna fishing charter, offering one-day run and gun live bait tuna fishing trips from Westport, Washington. You'll leave at first light, run an hour and a half out to the tuna grounds, and catch these fish till your arms fall off. You'll be back at port by 5 p.m. on a 30-foot Parker boat. The tuna are here now, and this is shaping up to be a record summer, so call Captain Carrie now at 253-380-9973. That's 253-380-9973 for Offshore Northwest.
Want to spend less time fooling around with tackle and more time fishing? The Hook 'em Good Bait Buoy Tackle Organizer and Leader Rolls can help. Keep all the important necessities, leaders, scents, pliers, cutters, and the towel close at hand. You can easily load round or oval scent bottles, as well as egg jars. Interchange your leader rolls for different styles of fishing. This unit mounts quick and easy, and extra leader rolls come with a removable hanger for your vest, waders, or belt. Check us out at hookamgood.com.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
It's time to talk to Matt Caguette again with Rugged Point Lodge. Rugged Point Lodge is located on the northwest coast of Vancouver Island. And Matt, I understand, and this floored me when you told me that come August, it's very possible to get into the tuna up there.
Yeah, when the current comes up, and it can be sometimes as early as last year we were getting them in July. It can be anywhere from 20 to 30 miles out we go, and we're trolling for albacore.
Wow. So go ahead and talk me through the drill. Are you using live bait, or are you using swim baits or chrome, or how are you actually getting these fish?
Well, unfortunately, where we are, we don't have access to live anchovies, so we got to troll for them, and we're using like algae bars, rapalas, trolling, and then when we stop and we got a couple of takedowns, we'll stop, throw anchovies, and then we'll jig iron or cast swim baits. Generally, when they're around here too, they're a pretty good size. They average between 20 and 30 pounds. So we've had some days where we've had a few in the low 40s and mid 30s. So when it's there, we'll take advantage of it.
But it's not one you can count on. It's not one that you can actually say, I want to come in August.
No, but the thing is you can count on loading up on salmon and halibut, and then if there's albacore there, we can blast out and get them too.
What a great trip that would be. What is the limit for albacore up there?
In Canada, it is 20 albacore per person per day.
I don't think my arms can handle that.
Yeah, well, our boats ice down about 25 properly, so that's about our max per boat is about 25.
Well, that sounds, again, like a fantastic day of fishing. Salmon, halibut, and tuna to boot. If you want to find out more, book a trip at Rugged Point Lodge. Go to their website. It's ruggedpointlodge.com. That's ruggedpointlodge.com.
There's a whole bunch more of the great outdoors coming your way on Fox Sports 1380.
Some of the best saltwater fishing you'll ever experience is taking place off Vancouver Island this year, and Rugged Point Lodge is where you need to go to catch them. Rugged Point Lodge offers comfortable accommodations, great food, and the chance to catch a limit of salmon, halibut, or lingcod mere minutes away from the dock. Better still, it's not too late to book a trip for this summer to take advantage of what promises to be the best salmon fishing in a generation. Book now at ruggedpointlodge.com. ruggedpointlodge.com, where fishing dreams come true.
Blue Moon Fishing Adventures has the experience and knowledge to take you where the fish are biting the best. Blue Moon Fishing Adventures offers freshwater trips for salmon, steelhead, and oversized sturgeon. And with their 33-foot offshore boat, they can chase tuna, halibut, lingcod, salmon, and bottom fish. Whether you're an experienced fisherman or a novice, Blue Moon Fishing Adventures will do their very best to see that you have a great time fishing. Give them a call at 360-521-0273. That's 360-521-0273. Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're taking you to an on-the-water interview with Kelly Short. He's the owner of Kelly Short Outdoors. And Kelly, you're sturgeon fishing near Astoria right now and doing pretty well, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We actually, you called me a minute ago and we had a nice big keeper on, and the same gentleman has another one on right now.
Sounds like a great day of fishing to me, but I appreciate the fact that you're taking some time to join us today to talk a little bit about safety. Now, you're fishing near Astoria. The big Buoy 10 fishery is about to go off, and every year you hear about people who are getting in trouble out there.
Well, John, I appreciate the call back, and Buoy 10 is such a great fishery, and people, the original Buoy 10 is the buoy marker number 10, which is located in front of El Waco. And the people used to line up there. I mean, line up bumper-to-bumper boats, 3-4 lanes deep, and we'd catch the silvers and the kings coming in, and now it's fluctuated all the way up to the bridge and even above the bridge on certain tides. But what the people need to really work on is it seems to get anymore, it's just a race for the fish, and we need to really concentrate on not following too close behind somebody that's running up the river, because they can shut down really quick, and the next thing you know, you're right on somebody's back end, and it can cause an accident. Or we really need to concentrate on not throwing a wake at people that are trolling and fishing or running between boats really fast, because once that creates that, you start bouncing back and forth, and you really don't have the best control of your boat, and accidents can happen then. So we really need to concentrate. The anglers need to really think when guys are trolling to go them at least 100 yards or better on the outside of them to run back up the river. Don't be running in between boats. And, of course, go through all your safety gear, you know. I mean, this year was my year again. Every 2 years I check everything. Go through your life jackets. A lot of you are wearing the new PFDs that are self-inflated or with the CO2 cartridges. Check those every 2 years or every year. Make sure that CO cartridge is good, that it hasn't leaked a little bit, and you should just buy new ones and update them.
Kelly, that's some great advice. I'm going to tap you for a little bit more here as well. I know that weather plays a real role out there in terms of making things dicey in a hurry. Comes to the weather, what should anglers be keeping an eye on, and when should they be heading back to port?
Well, you know, you really got to watch it. What happens at Buoy 10 is a lot of people like fishing the Washington side, which we call the church hole. There used to be a yellow can there up to the bridge and then above the bridge. And above the bridge, we've got this North Mountain range that's over here. And it tends to be very flat above that bridge when we have a northwesterly blowing. And a lot of people will get confused in small boats out there fishing because the fishing's so good that you stay up there and stay up there. You need to always go down to the bridge and make a troll down to the bridge and keep looking underneath the bridge, because that goes wide open when it gets underneath the bridge, and that tends to build a lot for the people that are trying to get back to Warrenton or Hammond, and you've got to go down and around. It can pick up, and it can get pretty windy and choppy in the afternoon. So smaller boats need to keep an eye on that, and even big boats. I mean, I always keep an eye on it, and usually 1 or 2 o'clock, if it's a little bit windy that day, I'm usually not above there, because I know that it's going to get a little bit choppier downriver, and I want to be closer to port somewhere.
All right, that's some great advice. Anything else you want to throw out there before we go?
Just be real careful. Remember, for anybody that's coming down here and wants to experience this fishery, it is the best fishery in the lower 48 when this happens. Don't come out of Warrenton, don't come out of Hammond, even Astoria, and think you can run straight to the Washington side. Desmona fans start just a little bit above the Astoria Bridge and run clear to Hammond. Just because that looks like you can run to the other side, you can't. There's big sandbars. Make sure you check with somebody. If you've never been here before, ask somebody. Really look at it at a low tide so you don't get stuck sitting on a sandbar or get in trouble.
All right, Kelly, thanks again for the advice there. If you want to go fishing with Kelly, go ahead and go to his website. It's kellyshortoutdoors.com, kellyshortoutdoors.com, or give him a call at 541-915-9135. That's 541-915-9135 for salmon, sturgeon, and a whole bunch more. Kelly, thanks again.
Hey, thanks, John, and we look forward to seeing you down here.
Next up on America Outdoors Radio, we're going to talk to Marshall Madruga. He is the owner of a company that manufactures some very small drift boats, and guess what? He's looking for help to introduce them to the Northwest. He is the owner of Mini Drifter. Marshall, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So, Marshall, you're located in San Diego?
Correct.
You make your drift boats there. Tell me about your drift boats. Tell our listeners about these small, portable drift boats.
Oh, the drift boats we offer presently right now, a 10-foot model coming out with an 8, which they used to make in the past, and in the future, near future, a 12-foot model. They're only, well, the 10-foot model is only 120 to 125 pounds, if you can believe it.
Wow.
And the great thing about it is when I discovered these back in, Humboldt State University, where I went to school, early 90s, you can drag them, just put them in the back of your truck. Just put down the tailgate, slide them right on in, and on your way. Don't need a launch ramp. You can manhandle it yourself. If you want a trailer, you could, or you could put it on a lumber rack on top if you have one of those as well.
So these are aluminum boats, are they? That's why they're so lightweight.
Yeah, they're aluminum, and the great thing is not only are they just aluminum and they're light, but you don't have to worry about it. Like fiberglass, they have their place, and of course some people like the classic look of wood. It doesn't handle the same. Most importantly, you can't beat the hell out of it. Aluminum boats, you could just jump in, throw it off the truck. I pull it up through riprap at the end of at the end of a run or something. Like I said, you do not need a launch ramp. You could put it in anywhere you want, take it out anywhere you want. That's the great thing about it. There's no maintenance to it whatsoever. And, you can just stick it in the backyard, just lean it up against the fence or the house, and you're done.
So tell me some of the rivers, some of the lakes where your clients like to fish the Mini Drifter.
Well, like I say, you can fish this on any body of water. I mean, me personally, I'm a fanatic and a diehard. I used to row them out of Trinidad Head, Northern California, and catch lingcod and rockfish out of them. I fish them in the lakes down here in San Diego and do great because they're so stealthy. You could put a 2 horsepower on the back, or a thing's really fast with a 55-pound thrust, just, an electric motor. I've caught everything, even down in, we were just talking about Loretto. Last summer I went down there and we went out in the boat with a 2 horsepower and a really flat early morning, and we caught Dorado, wide open black skipjack tuna, and actually caught a few of those small grouper. And I love them, especially for the estuaries down in Baja. I mean, you have to off-road into these places. They're covered with mangroves everywhere. You go fishing for snook and grouper and all kinds of neat species down there. So you really can take this thing anywhere you want. That's the great thing about it.
I am imagining right now that some of our listeners in Montana are thinking this is going to be great for the trout streams around here. Some of our listeners in the Idaho Panhandle are thinking this will be perfect for some of the little lakes that we have. Oregon and Washington, same deal up there in Northern California. Now, again, you're in San Diego, though, and distribution is an issue. Introducing these boats to our listeners in the Northwest, an issue as well. I understand you're looking for both distributors and for pro staffers.
Oh yeah, looking for distributors. I have met up with a few people who've come down, met me halfway here and there. If somebody really wants one, we'll definitely get it, work it out with them to get them one. But the distributors would be the best thing to have up there. Marinas, sporting goods stores, fly shops, any of those places are a perfect fit for it. And, we're looking for ambassadors too. Pro staff / salesperson, ambassadors, guides. Guides are some of the best ones out there because they're fishing it and they're beating on it every day.
Absolutely.
So any of those people out there interested, feel free to contact me.
So, and that brings us to our next point. Again, for people who are looking for a small drift boat that, again, ultra portable, very lightweight, don't need a trailer for, what's the website we're going to send them to?
minidrifter.com.
That's an easy one to remember. And similar question for those that are listening that may be fly shop owners or small sporting goods store owners that are looking to get a few of these boats that don't cost a whole lot, by the way, or for those who are guides or want to be pro staffers, where do we need to send them?
Just have them call me direct. That's the same telephone number on there that we're talking on right now. You could just go to minidrifter.com. It's really easy. So
minidrifter.com is the place to go, A, to check out the product line and all these great little drift boats, and B, to go ahead and contact Marshall Madruga if you're interested in being a distributor or an ambassador / pro staffer. Marshall, thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Great, and thank you.
Mini Drifter offers the lightest, most versatile, and affordable aluminum drift boat prams you'll find that measure 12 feet or less. Our 8-foot model weighs only 85 pounds, and our aluminum is durable, offering you a lifetime of service with no maintenance. Our small boats can fish anywhere, and because they are small, no trailer is needed. Simply car top it or slide it into the back of your pickup. Mini Drifter boats row fast and also accept outboard or electric motors. Get your Mini Drifter today. Find out more at minidrifter.com. That's minidrifter.com.
It's time for summer, and you need to be ready. So stop in at any Oxark store to find all of the summer supplies you need for your yard, home, farm, or business. Oxark has gloves, first aid kits, safety glasses, and even a full line of industrial tools. And don't forget, it's time for Gatorade and Igloo coolers. So this summer, be ready and stop by any Oxark or shop online at oxark.com.
Gamakatsu has a great selection of premium quality hooks for any fish. Whether you're a gear fisherman or a fly angler fishing freshwater or saltwater, we've got a hook for you. You can spend hundreds of dollars on your rod, reel, and fishing line, so don't scrimp on the hook. There's nothing worse than losing the fish of a lifetime because you used a cheap hook. That's why you want Gamakatsu hooks at the end of your line. They won't let you down, and they won't let the fish go. Look for Gamakatsu hooks at quality sporting goods stores near you.
At Tillamook Country Smoker, for 3 generations, we've made jerky with our hands and our hearts. We cut hardwood from the coastal forest. We blend the spices in every batch, following a family recipe. We feed the fire with real wood and stand watch until it's part of the beef. This is all natural, time-tested perfection in texture and flavor. You can taste the truth in every stick, every bag, and every bite. Tillamook Country Smoker. This is jerky done right.
For those of you that use binoculars or cameras, you have got to try this ultralight harness by Rick Young Outdoors. Made in the USA, it can be worn in 5 positions, yet it only weighs 1 ounce. The crazy fast single-point adjustment means your optics hang on your chest, not your belt line. The bulky white straps are gone, as well as tangled mess. The hardware allows you to disconnect your optics at a push of a button. For all the features, visit rickyoungoutdoors.com. That's rickyoungoutdoors.com.
Limit Out Performance Marine is your West Coast Phoenix, Larson, and Alumacraft boat dealer. We also offer full service for your Mercury and Yamaha outboard and have complete parts and tackle store for your every boating need. We'll not only provide you with full service for your boat, motor, and trailer, but we'll also educate you on how to better operate and maintain your boat so you can have a better experience in the water. Visit us at 421 5th Avenue Northwest in Pacific or go online to limitoutmarine.com.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Northwest Sportsman Magazine. It's the monthly publication that covers both fishing and hunting throughout the greater Northwest. Look for it at a newsstand near you or go to their website at nwsportsmanmag.com. Let's go ahead and give you a quick rundown of select fishing derbies and tournaments taking place along the West Coast. We'll start off at the mouth of the Columbia River, where the Oregon Tuna Classic is taking place out of El Waco, July 29th and the 30th. You need to buy your tickets by Sunday, the 24th. That's right, this weekend. And let me tell you why. Last year, the winners walked away with $18,500 in cash and prizes after catching a quintet of tuna weighing over 152 pounds. The NSIA 17th Annual Buoy 10 Challenge will be taking place August 19th. That's always a big event over by Astoria. And time to update you on the Northwest Salmon Derby Series. From July 27th to the 31st, there's going to be one on the freshwater. That's right, the Big One Salmon Derby is taking place at Lake Coeur d'Alene in the Idaho Panhandle. On August 6th, you need to go to Puget Sound because the South King County Puget Sound Angler Salmon Derby will be taking place in marine areas 10, 11, and 13. And on August 12th, the Gig Harbor PSA Salmon Derby will be taking place in areas 11 and 13. You can go to NorthwestSalmonDerbySeries.com to find out more information about these. Other Northwest Derbies to tell you about is the Baker Lake Sockeye Shootout, sponsored by the Coastal Conservation Association. That one's going on July 29th through the 31st at Baker Lake in Northwest Washington. Grand prize is $1,000 for the largest sockeye caught. August 5th through the 7th, the 11th Annual Brewster Salmon Derby is going to be taking place on the Upper Columbia River. Go to BrewsterSalmonDerby.com for that one. And August 12th through the 13th, the Washington Tuna Classic will be launching out of Westport. Website for that one, WashingtonTunaClassic.com. Heading to California, no fishing derbies to tell you about, but the California State Duck Calling Championship is going to take place at Veterans Memorial Park in Colusa on August 27th and the 28th. So tune up that call of yours and get ready to compete if you fashion yourself to be a fine duck caller, because this is an open contest. Find out more about this one at Kittles. That's KITTLES outdoor.com.
It's time for the Trail of Shame.
Shame, shame on you. Shame, shame on you.
Stories of poachers, scoundrels, and other ne'er-do-wells, so if you see someone committing a criminal act on the water or in the field, turn them in. It's the right thing to do.
This week on the Trail of Shame, Idaho Fish and Game is asking the public for information regarding the recent poaching of a moose calf near Riordan Lake, south of the community of Yellow Pine. The poaching occurred sometime prior to the July 4th weekend. If you have information about this, please call the Citizens Against Poaching hotline It's 1-800-632-5999. One way to help is if you saw any vehicles at the lake trailheads in this area on Thursday, June 30th or Saturday, July 2nd. Again, give them a call. That's 1-800-632-5999. You can remain anonymous, but we need to catch the person that did this so we can put these poachers on the trail of shame and behind bars.
Shame on you.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We're talking to Russ Baker. He is the owner of Limit Out Performance Marine located in Pacific, Washington, and they sponsor a bass tournament series here in Washington State. With us here to tell us more about the Big Bass Tournament Trail is Russ Baker. Welcome to the show.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing great. Tell me more about this. I'm aware of the Northwest Bass Circuit, but I was not really familiar with the Big Bass Tournament Trail until this year.
Well, Limit Out Marine put together we started with just one single event at Potholes Reservoir about 3 years ago. We got about 70, 80 boaters to fish that. And,
nice.
It was a 2-day event, and it was solely designed to really create more awareness toward bass fishing in the state of Washington because it was available for anybody to fish it as long as they were a team. And a team could be one individual or two people on a boat. You could fish it out of a standard bass boat, aluminum boat, pretty much anything you want as long as it had a working live well and a kill switch. Plenty of room for two anglers or even one angler for that matter. But it really was based on growing the sport of bass fishing and making people more aware of the good fisheries we have out here in the Northwest.
Boy, we sure do. And Russ, I'm going to ask you real quick, what are the lakes that you have tournaments at now? Because it's a lot more than Potholes Reservoir.
Correct. And we just finished up our year for 2016 qualifier series. You could either fish it as an open or fish to get in the championship. We just finished the championship last weekend on Potholes Reservoir. It was a one-day event. Biggest bass was 7 pounds 15 ounces, and that was a big fish for Potholes. But the other events where we started was March. March was on Lake Washington. End of March,
Okay.
We had an event on Lake Washington. April was on Moses Lake.
Nice.
May was on Potholes. June was on Banks Lake, and the championship finished up on Potholes just this past weekend.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you picked some really good waters for bass fishing there. In terms of the qualifiers, how many boats were you averaging for each one of those qualifying tournaments?
51.
Nice.
Unbelievable for our first year. One anglers was our average out of 4 events. Our highest one was 86 anglers at the Potholes event. Years past, we've had over 100 at that event. We've actually paid up to $10,000 for the biggest fish of the event. This year we didn't quite get the numbers, so we paid between $3,500 and almost $7,000 for the biggest fish. So that's still a pretty good payday for two guys fishing a 2-day event just based on one fish. The nice thing about it is the hourly participants, the hourly big bass, each one of these hourly big bass winners also won a cash stipend. So that ranged from $300 an hour all the way up to $600 an hour.
Nice.
For 15 hours for a 2-day event. So yeah, a lot of fun. Army gave out over 30, almost 40 grand this year in prize money, and we have great sponsorship to go along with it. We gave away 2 El Salto trips and a raffle at the end of the championship, a power pole, and by JML Marine that sponsored the event, as well as Mercury Motor Guide. They sponsored us with multiple products, including a 36-volt 105 trolling motor. So yeah, lots of sponsorship, and we continue to hear more for more sponsorship for next year's events, and we're excited about it because we're growing it.
So, Russ, I got to ask, we're starting to run short on time, but before we go, you have these qualifiers. Obviously, if you place well enough, you get to fish the championship tournament. Who won the championship tournament? And the next question is, that 7+ pound bass, smallmouth or largemouth? Because they're both really big in Potholes Reservoir.
Yeah, Tim Carvo and Jake Boomer took the win for this one this weekend, and 7.15 pound largemouth bass. The actual top 6 anglers were actually paid, and all were largemouth. So you had to have a 5.07 for 6th place, and then on up from that. So 5 pounds or bigger normally is our regular payout for our hourly weigh-ins. It's pretty rare when we have a fish that's under 5 pounds that gets paid, but at this event, 5 pounds or better got paid a cash prize, and they won almost $7 grand, and they also get the Phoenix incentive cash too. That was another $500. So yeah, that was quite a good day for a lot of folks, and they had a good time. We had 36 teams qualify through the actual qualifying events. If they wanted to fish the championship, they had to win an hour at one of the events and commit or fish at least 3 of the 4 events. We had 36 teams qualify. We had multiple teams actually win multiple hours, and that's a neat thing. They can win as many hours as they can with the biggest fish of each hour. So yeah, we had multiple teams win hourlies during the 4 series of events.
So, Russ, 2016 is in the books, but let's go ahead and get people excited now about participating in 2017. What is the website so people can find out more about the Big Bass Tournament Trail?
It's the BigBassTrail.com. Yep, it's just under BigBassTrail.com website where all our winners are posted. At BigBassTrail.com, we'll go over basically the rules, the format, and then we'll post here in the near future as soon as permits are received for next year's events. We're going to actually have 3 events next year. You can fish 1 or you can fish 3. If you do decide to fish 3, you qualify for the championship for 2017. So next year we're going to have Moses Lake as the first event in April. Second event will be at Tri-Cities on the Columbia River.
Nice.
Third event will be first week on Potholes Reservoir again. Great fishery. And the fourth event, which is our championship, will actually be, we applied for the end of June for Moses Lake. So, we mix it around. Sometimes we actually put one on 10 Mile down in Coos Bay, Oregon, or Reedsport, Oregon. That's another big bass event we put on. And in the future, we plan on putting an event on at Coeur d'Alene. So, yeah, we've been actually asked to do this all over the Northwest. There's only so many hours a day running a boat dealership, tackle shop, and service, and so yeah, we decided next year to just run 3 in a championship to keep up the service department, the boat sales and tackle sales as well at Limit Out Marine. So lots going on.
Well, absolutely there is. Again, folks, the website to find out more about participating next year in the Big Bass Tournament Trail is BigBassTrail.com. That's BigBassTrail.com. And by the way, if you're interested in a bass boat, particularly a Phoenix brand bass boat, go to Pacific Washington and visit Russ at Limit Out Performance Marine. He can hook you up. Russ, thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Anytime. Enjoyed it, John. Take care.
That's all for this week. If you get a chance, go to our website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. You'll find a podcast of our most recent show there. And don't forget, our show is on the internet too at RenoViolaOutdoors.com, the home of WRVO Radio. Until next time, God bless you, and remember, it's your country and your outdoors.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
For our next field report, we're talking to Robert Harbin at Mardon Resort on 27,000-acre Potholes Reservoir. The reason why is because it's prime time for top water bass fishing, not only here at Potholes, but just about everywhere here in the Northwest. And Robert's going to break down some of the lures and techniques you might want to try this summer for topwater bass fishing. Robert, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. The first thing I would try would be a Spro frog, just because our weeds are so high this year with our high water that we're having big weed mats, and they're an excellent way to catch the bigger fish. Big fish go for those big frogs. The Spro popper's a great one to target. The Spro's got that popper frog that pops and gurgles as it comes in. Drives them nuts.
Kind of like it almost looks like a hula popper, but an evolution better.
Well, it's a frog that's actually a popar. A popar has got the cup lips, so you get the gurgle on it. That's the same thing they're doing here. But with this one, when you can put it in a little hole between the pads and you pull on it, it'll actually jump backwards because of that concave. So you keep it in the hole longer, in the strike zone longer, in that little hole that the bass are feeding off of.
Let's go ahead and talk about something else, buzzbaits. I just get a kick out of ripping a buzzbait at high speed there, right on the surface, and watching those bass just inhale it.
Well, the thing with the buzzbait is a lot of it's to do with timing. If you can do it really early or really late, you got a chance. In the middle of the afternoon, it's a rough bait to get a bite off of. But if you do it after the sun goes down in that yellow light, we call it, you can pick up fish where you fished all day long and never saw one. And they're big fish baits, too.
Well, there you go. Some great advice from Ron Harbin at Mardon Resort. Find out more about fishing at Potholes Reservoir and some of the seep lakes there by going to MardonResort.com.
Are you ready for an adventure? No, not the kind where you're rappelling off cliffs and canoeing down waterfalls. The kind where you sleep in a cushy bed, open the door with a hot cup of coffee, and set up to do some fishing or hiking. The low-stress kind of adventure we offer at Northwest Adventure Rentals. We're a family-owned business that will start you on your way in one of our luxury motorhomes and travel trailers. We'll even do the packing for you. Just grab your food and clothes and set off for your next adventure. Oh yeah, don't forget your fishing pole. Look us up at nwadventurerentals.com.
Want a trip with some of the most talented anglers on the water? Then book a trip with Northwest Fishing Guides. Salmon, that's right, salmon are their specialty, and you'll get a chance to catch them out of the mighty Columbia River from a comfortable and sturdy 26-foot boat. Northwest Fishing Guides will take you out for steelhead and sturgeon too, and can also accommodate your saltwater fishing desires. So whether you want salmon in the cooler or other fish on the line, book your trip now at nwfishingguides.net. That's nwfishingguides.net. Book your trip with the best.